Welcome to Hvac Garage. This time we're going to do a little maintaining on the OG73. And if you make it through the end, I have a little surprise for you. Something you won't soon forget. You'll want to, but you won't. Alright folks, we got our maintaining supplies here. We've got some AMSOIL diesel synthetic 15W40. And those with a keen eye will notice that we buy it by the gallon. OG73 has a 15 quart capacity. So we got a big old belly, we got to fill it up. We've got a Hvac oil filter, and then we're going to take a look at our air conditioning. Right now it's hotter than a Hades jalapeno. You don't want to be caught without your AC. So we're going to check our levels with our gauges, and got a little R134 to throw in there if need be. But we're going to get started. Alright folks, first thing we're going to do is scooch our drip pan out the way. Like I said, OG73 spent most of his life outside, so he hadn't been house trained yet, quite yet. We're gonna get this oil draining. We're gonna need another bucket. Like I said, got a big old belly. Ow. Got a few leaks under here. That's all right. I got a few leaks myself. There we go. We'll try to get the oil filter off now. That ain't gonna work. Good googly woogly. Mighty put this thing on. Golly. So folks, you don't have to put 250 foot-pounds of torque on a oil filter. Son. The hell they put this on with a 16-foot cheater bar? Alright folks, had to run to town and get another tool. Apparently whoever changed the oil last time, this was my first time doing it, decided that the oil filter needed a couple of 100 pounds of torque on it. So we're going to try this and see how it goes. Sugar honey iced tea. We're gonna have to shed the scooter. It's getting serious now, folks. It's getting serious. Son. Alright folks, alright, here we go. We're over the hump. Whew, Lordy Lord. Well, the oil filter wasn't coming off. That's for fact right there. Getting that old oil filter off got kind of serious there for a minute, and I don't know if you can tell if I'm perspiring profusely. If I pass out, I'll edit that part out once I wake up. Alright, now we're gonna fill up our oil filter. So you always want to, especially on these big oil filters like this, you always want to fill them up, because there's enough oil in this oil filter to fill up a Honda Civic. So it'll take a minute for that oil to circulate through if you don't fill them up first. So it's just best to fill them up first, give it a good head start. Try not to spill it everywhere. We're going to put a little bit around the seal. Now we're going to try to put it in without spilling it all over. Alright, got a filter in. Going to use our new fangle dangle wrench, and we're just going to snug it up. Alright, we got our fluid focusing apparatus and our nozzle, so we're going to start pouring the dinosaurs to it. So we did about 14 quarts. We'll let everything simmer down and check our fluid level, crank it up, see where we're at. Standing here checking out our oil cap. You can see all the tooth marks from the previous resident. Kind of cracked through, might need to get a new one. So now we're gonna crank him up, get some circulation going, and shut him down, check for leaks, and let everything stabilize and check our fluid, see where we're at. Alright, so cranked him up, let him run for a few minutes, got him up to a high idle, let everything circulate around. Oil pressure is good, no leaks in the areas that we worked in. So oil pan plug is good, oil filter is good, no leaks there. So we're going to let it sit for a minute, let the oil drain back down in the oil pan, and then check our oil level. So while we're waiting on our oil to drain back down into the pan, we're going to top off our windshield bug juice. Yes. Another thing we can do while we're sitting here waiting for the oil to drain into the pan is hook up our HVAC gauges. So there's pretty much two places to hook up. You got the high side and you got your low side. So you pretty much can't mess it up. I mean, they've almost made it idiot proof. I mean, I don't know that you can really make anything idiot proof. I mean, really, that's why we only measure intelligence, because much like the universe, stupidity is infinite. So, but I digress. Pretty easy to hook them up. You can go into most auto parts stores. They'll even have the simple single hookup gauges to kind of give you an idea. You can also get the, it's just like anything else. You can spend as much as you want to, but a lot of them have pretty good indicators on them. So like the one I have, you can see, so on the low side you've got your indicators here with different color codings that'll tell you if you need to add some Freon. Also the same thing on the high side. The thing with hooking up both low and high side without getting too much into thermodynamicals of everything, your pressures are dependent on your temperatures. So on really hot days, your temperatures are going to be higher in some cases. But like I said, they've got the little idiot indicators on here for folks like me to kind of give you an idea of where you should be. You definitely don't want to overcharge, but this will give you a range of where you need to be. So like I said, pretty easy to hook up. I don't know if you caught that, but you can see the gauge pop up. See if we can do the same thing on the high side. Now sometimes you got to be careful with these lines because they can bend real easy. Well, alright, got it locked up. Alright, and then the yellow line will go to your refrigerant, whatever you're adding to it if you need to. So you got a valve here that says measure or charge, so when you're just looking, you're going to want to keep it on measure, otherwise you're going to dump all your Freon out your hose down there. Yeah, it ain't no good. So what you're going to do is you're going to crank it up and do max AC and see where the pressures are. Before we get too deep in that though, we're gonna go ahead and check our oil level and see where we're at. Oh yeah, pert near plumb. We're going to check it one more time. We're going to call it. All right, we're going to close everything up, yeah. Then we'll check the level again next time we drive it when we get back after we put some miles on it and see where we're at. But one of the reasons why the 7.3 takes so much oil is it uses oil in the fuel for the fuel system. They give you a little more oil. The good thing about it though is if you run low on oil, the truck don't run. So kind of a safety feature as well. So we're going to crank him up and see what we read. One thing you'll notice as the system runs, the low side is dropping down a little bit. I'm sure there's some thermodynamical engineers out there that can explain that whole process better than I can. But at the end of the day, we're pretty much in the area that we want to be. With our little idiot colors. We'll let it sit here and run for a couple more minutes. Oh yeah, folks, he's blowing nice and cold. Don't even need to add any. If we did, we just take a little bottle of refrigerant here, screw it in here. You've got your puncturing apparatus here. You just screw it down, puncture the top of the can, and then open it up, and then use your valve here to allow refrigerant into the system until you get to the good point. You don't necessarily want to leave the can upright so that you get gas on the top here. It's going to be feeding it gas. You dump it upside down, you're going to get liquid, and that can potentially damage your compressor. So you definitely want to keep it upright and just let it suck. We don't call it, folks. We do it. So a couple of things I did want to touch on. First off, I am not a professional. This is not meant to be a how-to, just a general overview of kind of the process of checking the refrigerant in a HVAC system. With that said, you do notice that you'll start seeing condensation on the low side here. This will be cool to touch, not a big deal. What you don't want to do is touch the high side, which can definitely exceed human heat tolerances. So be careful of that as you're poking around in here. Well, that's it for now, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.